You are now listening to the Happily Ever Banter podcast. Let's go!
That was legit.
All right, we're back. Episode 8. Me and Kiki today.
That's right. Solo episode. It's going to be a good one. It always is.
No guests today. We've had a good run of guests.
Sure have.
We've had a bunch of our friends in, and then last week we had Jake Maddock from all the way from Australia, and
that was a neat experience.
Yeah, he has some hot takes though. I'm not gonna lie. I've had some different comments. Some people are like, I don't know if I believe agree with that, which that's
on them.
There's a lot of different people that can agree or disagree with different things. I don't agree with everything he's gonna have to say, but I feel like he had some good information as a relationship coach. I do feel a lot of his stuff is more for single people,
right?
But it was good it was good to talk to him. It was good information. So I was happy with it. So now we're just back for me and you to catch up and
shoot the shit.
Shoot the shit, like Kiki says. She's got to get vulgar. She can't help it.
Hey,
she can't help it. So yeah, lots been going on, man. We've had, like I said, this is our 8th episode. Last few weeks has been crazy. We've been doing rodeo, ton of stuff for the kids. We just got done. This is pretty much our last day of spring break.
Right.
So it's been a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been nice that even though the kids have had spring break and it's like rodeo season, it was nice to actually have a break from sports because both the kids are in volleyball and in basketball. So they were able to have a break from that, to be able to relax and enjoy home and the rodeo.
Yeah, rodeo's a lot though. I'm kind of glad it's over with. I did 3 nights this past week, so
lucky you.
No, it's a lot. But me and McKenzie did go see Jonas Brothers.
Oh, no, I bet you that was pretty cool.
Which was cool. The cool thing I was thinking about it on my last on Dale Dale podcast. We had Bryce Kinney on, and he talked about having things, which just made me think about that night, is having experiences with your kids that are have all senses. So that's a perfect one to where you have music.
Okay.
You got the visual of the rodeo. You smell the dirt. You smell the cotton candy. Like he was talking about, those kind of things are the ones that stick out to kids and people the most for memories, because you kind of hit on all the senses. So for me to experience that with Kenzie, I thought that was pretty cool.
Way to go, Dale.
And I was dancing, singing more than she was. She acted like she was too cool.
I was wondering if she was gonna be dancing and singing.
No, she really wouldn't. She was kind of shy. She's 13 years old, so too cool. Maybe she was some friends. She'd had more of a outgoing time, but it was good. I know Kiki, she asked online just for some questions that we could kind of talk about. We want to jump on here to do one of us. We'll probably do more of these as well, just so you can dive in and hear a little bit more about me and Kiki and our life. One of the first questions, we didn't talk about kids a lot. Like, we talked about our love story.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't talk a lot about how our life changed after having kids. If we can kind of get into that.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing, we had McKenzie. We were
young.
27 at the time. And I mean, even though we were 27, we were still kids.
We were
still kind of immature with our finances and things like that, I feel.
And it wasn't really, it's never really a perfect time to have a kid, but I think the reason why we were pushing for it is because our friends Jamie and John, our besties, they were having a kid. And, I think I was like, when we're all hanging out, I was like, oh my God, I want a kid so bad too. We had been together for how long before?
We were together for 7-8 years before having kids.
So by the time we got married and everything, I was like, all right, it was time,
Yeah, so one of our best friends, they had a kid, which their oldest kid is actually my godchild. Mm-hmm. And then Crystal's twin actually had her daughter prior to that. Mm-hmm. So being around kids, that's just a natural progression. You're dating someone for a while, you get married, then you have kids, and then you have more kids. And
we just had 2.
2 is plenty.
2 is plenty.
So we had McKenzie first. Dude, it was awesome. Like,
she was such a good baby. So there's a lot of people a lot of my friends and stuff that they have such bad experience, like being pregnant, having the baby, getting them on the sleeping routine, both of my kids were blessed. Like Kenzie starts sleeping at like 6 to 8 weeks old, all through the night.
Yeah, Chris was in like her 9th year of college when she was pregnant with McKenzie. And she was.
I could have been a doctor or doctorate or something. Seriously.
Dude, I couldn't imagine you being my doctor. She's like, yeah, I think this will work. I can't read it, but
or I can't spell it.
No, so you were going so well at the time. Only pregnancy problem you had is you would get up and you wouldn't eat, and you go to school and you would be nauseous.
And I'd be nauseous. Yeah, and my vision was a little off too, because remember I went and got my eyes checked, and I ended up getting a pair of glasses.
She just felt it on purpose because she wanted glasses.
I actually still have the glasses too.
Yeah, but yeah, so we had our first kid, McKenzie. She was a great kid, man. Like she still is just at 13-year-old. I mean, she's sassy, and her and Crystal fight sometimes, but on the most part, she's a great kid. Kind of shy, reserved,
like me. And believe it or not, people can't believe this, but I've kind of gotten out of my shell, being that I'm 41 now. But back when I was younger, like I was super shy. I hated crowds. I pushed Ashley in front of everybody, But so now, since I've gotten a little bit older, I'm more outgoing, depending on what the situation is.
Like your margaritas, she's good.
I know Dale always says that. Of course, if you have one margarita,
she's gonna open her legs. Oh, that's the song.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I've always kind of been shy to somewhat. Same thing for you. Like, I'm sure you were shy as a kid.
I wasn't a shy kid. I didn't like. I was real self-conscious about getting up in front of public. Like if I had to like school things, I always thought that was so stupid. Like being on stage, like stuff I do now for work, or I would do like doing a wedding, or doing public speaking. Like I've done those, or like I've done like presentations for work. Like as a kid, dude, that was like one of my biggest fears. Like I didn't like reading in class. It just bugged me. I don't know. So, but I was always an extroverted kid. But there are certain things I didn't, I would get more kind of anxious about, and not being an anxious person, I feel that would kind of get me. But over the last few years, I was doing the TV show, obviously, and then just being and doing more things. I've just always said yes to like stuff that's more difficult, just to kind of push myself out there. Because like, I 10 years ago, I never thought some of the stuff I've done or doing. I was like, I would never do that. But I like to, I think it's good for our kids to see like, hey man, you got to push stuff out there sometimes.
I know that's what's hard for McKenzie, because like for McKenzie, like you said, like she's super shy. So we're always like, go speak up, go do this. But then you look back like, okay, I remember when I was that age, that's exactly how I was, Yeah, no, it's tough, man. And it's tougher now for kids. And I know we're in this area that we are now, this is a bigger area, a lot more kids versus like back home, school wise.
Yeah.
Size.
Yeah. I mean, she'll graduate and probably, she won't know her whole class. Like, I did. I mean, you didn't know in your area, but I grew up in my hometown, Westlake. Everybody knew everybody. I knew everybody's parents, their grandparents. Yeah. Everybody I knew all my graduating class. There wasn't anybody that I went to school with that I didn't really know. So, such a big change over here. Right. So, okay. So let's get back to McKenzie. So she was born. We had her, she was a very good baby. She ate and slept, which was good, because I think majority of my pregnancy, I slept. I think that's why she slept so much whenever we had her. And she was never sick, because I breastfed both of my kids for a year and 4 months. I was a damn cow, baby. When I say I produced some milk, remember that? Yeah, she did. Shoot, I filled up my freezer, Ashley's mother-in-law's freezer, my mom's house, and your mom's house. Yeah, I was like overflowing. So there was times I hate to go out, me and Delta go like date night, because I hated to drink. Remember that? Like I'd hate to have a sip or two, because I was like, just think how much I'd be pouring out. But now, fast forward, 20-something years later, that now you can have a drink and don't have to like pump and dump. So things have changed. Things have changed, And you drink a lot more now anyway. So. No, I do not. Don't believe that, guys. Oh, if anybody y'all know her, you know that I'm correct. She likes to party. I do like to have a good time, just how you like to have a good time. Yeah, so McKenzie, okay, one person did ask about how we got our kids' names. I'll just talk about McKenzie for right now, since we're on her. Actually, Dale named both the kids. I did. So we had a boy name actually, before we any kids, we're like, okay, I want to name my first kid. We're gonna have a boy first.
It was Jackson, right?
We're gonna name him Jackson Dale.
Yeah.
And that was the name. That was the name we had. And then boom, we get pregnant. Found out it's a girl. We're like, all right, crap, we got to think of a girl name. So we just kind of tabled the name Jackson Dale. And so
didn't we have a book or something we looked through for the names?
No.
We didn't?
Nope. So I was working at Sprint cell phones at that time.
Yeah.
And I had a customer of mine, and they had a little daughter named McKenzie. She was a cute little girl. I remember her, and that's where I got the name McKenzie from. I was like, oh, that's the name I like. And then we decided on McKenzie. Then the middle name was Louise, came from your grandmother. And so that's kind of how that all came about. Is really there's no family name from McKenzie, just because, like I said, really it's just a customer of mine I was close to, and they had a daughter named McKenzie. That's really how that came about.
And we spell it McKenzie because everywhere else everybody spells it MAC, McKenzie.
Yeah.
So she's different. McKenzie.
I mean, a lot of people spell McKenzie like that too.
I never see it that way.
Well, if you go to like the gas stations, you ain't gonna find a spell like that. The little license plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how we got her name. But yeah, like man, she was super good. I actually worked from home a lot. I traveled a lot her first year.
Oh, and I cried like a baby.
Yeah, she Crystal didn't like when I would be out of town. So we had some help whenever I'd go out of town to stay with her, which helped out a lot. But I was on the flight a lot of times. I'd be gone, come back on the weekends, and then I went for a while where I would stay home. That's when you started working. I'd work from home.
Yeah.
So I'd get her up, get her ready, take her to daycare, and I remember my first day of her bringing her. I brought her to her first day to daycare. I remember that.
You did?
Yes.
At First Methodist?
No, Miss Charlene.
Oh, Miss Charlene's. Okay.
I remember I cried. Like when I dropped her off, I remember crying because it was sad. Like,
yeah, because whenever we enrolled her in First Methodist, remember, I'm the one that took her and I couldn't bring her in. Remember, I had to call you to come meet me because I was like bawling, crying. And at that age, she was, what was she?
I mean, she was already been going daycare for a while.
I know, but I was like, this is so sad. That's what I look at now. I mean, I'm fast forwarding way ahead. I know we're still talking, but like, to see McKenzie going into high school and Bronson going in middle school, like
freaking nuts.
Just even Bronson going to middle school, I'm not even ready for that, you know?
Yeah. So, but yeah, McKenzie was a great kid, super chill. She was always real close to me, and so me and her had a great relationship. So I had McKenzie for 2 years and 2 months to myself before Bronson came along. So Crystal's first pregnancy, we actually had a little trouble getting pregnant.
We sure did.
I think mainly because of just the issues you had from being active for the track and things.
Yeah.
Like you didn't, I don't know what the word was. You weren't ovulating or something?
Yeah, I wasn't ovulating, so I had to do 1 round of Clomid.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, we have a lot. I mean, hell, just your sister in general. I mean, Danielle, what they had to go through was that's on the other end of it.
I only had to go through 1 round. You know, it was so funny. Then you would have to, I'm sure this is like TMI, but whatever. Like, you'd have to schedule certain days to have sex. Remember? And then after me and you would have sex, I would literally have to I would have to boost my butt and legs up in the air for 15 to 20 minutes to be like, get in there, you know? Remember that?
I don't know if that even helps.
To shake it in there, like so to make sure it gets in there. And then because I had to do the body basal temperature thing, so once that thing spiked, then you knew you were pregnant. I think it had to stay spiked for a couple of days. Then you had to go do a blood test, all that stuff. I never forget the time I went to go do the blood test. It came back positive. You know, I was like, oh my God, I was pregnant. I was working at the Mill Center and I had to go to the bathroom because I had the biggest smile on my face, but I couldn't tell them because I was like, I'm not going to tell them I'm like 7 weeks pregnant and they're not going to be the first person I need to tell. I need to tell Dale, you know? I never forget you didn't answer right away. And I was just so like, oh my God.
I think I asked who's the dad.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, yeah, it was, it's funny like that meme, when you're trying to have kids, people are all proud of you for having sex. It's just funny. Like, oh, it's good. You keep trying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nuts. So, luckily that's all we had to go through. We didn't, there's a lot of people less fortunate that got to go through way more, can't have kids, which is, it's a terrible thing.
And we even checked to see if it was Dale's problem. It wasn't Dale's problem.
Yeah, no, I was good, baby. Hell yeah. But so, luckily we only went through one of those spats of going through the climate, and then we got pregnant. Boom. And so, fast forward a couple years, we're like, all right, we're gonna wait till 2 years to get pregnant again.
But this one was not planned though. Even
I know that, but we were like, we'll wait 2 years regardless.
Right.
So then, like, we went to like, it was like, oh man, it was like a weekend. We were partying at my friend's house. We were drinking, having a good time, stuff like that.
Oh wait, Dale having a good time drinking, boys and girls.
Well, I don't mind it. You're the one that overdoes it. You can't control yourself.
Dale,
you can't. Are we winking at me? People need to know that you're a freaking raging alcoholic. I'm joking. It's a joke. Calm down.
That is a joke, guys. What do you say? A public service announcement.
What does that mean?
Public service announcement. I'm telling you, I'm making an announcement that shit's not true.
Oh, it's true. Okay, so we're like, okay, we're gonna. So we go. We partied hard that one weekend.
I don't think I did. I think he did.
No, and then like the next day, we were at.
We went to Nick's parents' house.
Nick's parents' house in the river, and
we were leaving.
We're leaving to go back to our apartment, and
no, we lived.
Me, you, McKenzie.
We didn't live in the apartment anymore. We lived in Hodges Street.
No.
Yes, we did, babe. Because I remember.
Oh, Hodges Street. Okay. Yeah. So we live in Hodges Street. That's right. And we're heading back. You're like, man, I feel.
I was like, I just don't feel. I was like, I don't feel right.
You might be pregnant.
And I'm like, no way.
And so we go on the way, me, her, and McKenzie at the time was about a year and a half, year old. And we're like, man, no, because you had to do that stuff last time. We're thinking.
Yeah.
And so then we stop at like a Walgreens or, and get a pregnancy test. And then she goes and
go in the bathroom, lock the door, and you're making yourself a snack in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there peeing, waiting, and you're like, you better open that door. And sure enough,
yeah,
I was pregnant.
Pregnant with Bronson. So I know a lot of times that people do that, and you kind of self-correct yourself, I guess, once you've had a kid. Sometimes that works like that. Sometimes. And then we were pregnant with Bronson at the time. We were like, okay, man. I was like, dude, McKenzie was such an awesome kid. I loved being a girl dad. I was like, we're done with 2 kids regardless. We have 2 girls. I'm perfectly content with 2 girls. Boy and a girl, we're even better off. But so she has the same pregnancy. You have any issues with that pregnancy?
No, they were both good. And Bronson was an eater and a sleeper, just like Kenzie.
Yep. So
and it was kind of good. So whenever Bronson was born, we kind of had a routine. Like at nighttime, you kind of took care of McKenzie, got her settled, and then while I would go,
yeah,
we kind of worked as a team, which was great.
Yeah,
each had one.
Yeah, and then so we fast forward a little bit. We found out we were pregnant with a boy. Yeah, I remember sitting in the car at the doctor's office, like, okay, is Jackson Dale the name? We're like, nope, it's not the name. I was like, that's not the name. I was like, another friend of ours had a kid named Jackson Dale. I was like, let's do something different. And I was like trying to think of names and whatever. And then Bronson stuck out to me somehow. There was a pitcher that played for the Cincinnati Reds named Bronson Arroyo. And that's where I got the name Bronson from. And Crystal liked it. And then
I did like it because it was so different. Because at the time, whenever we liked Jackson, I felt like everybody was naming their kids
by
Jackson.
that time, everybody had named Jackson. So
yeah,
when we came up with Bronson, we went with Bronson Dale, which Dale is the middle name of my family. My dad was Timothy Dale. My brother was Byron Dale. I had uncle's middle name Dale. So I was like, okay, let's change it up. And then we went Patrick, which is my middle name. And so, that's how we came up with Bronson Patrick, which was, I love that name. And everybody calls him Bron or Bron.
Yeah. Both their names are different because you don't really hear a lot of McKenzies and you definitely don't hear another Bronson. People are like, what? What's his name? I'm like, Bronson. Like, dang, that's a cool name.
Yeah, I've heard a few Bronsons, but there's not a ton. And so, but yeah, that's kind of how we came up with both their names. But like when we had 2, it was definitely a game changer for us. But like I said, man, we knew, dude, Bronson, I was like, we were so content with like 2 kids. I was like, I think Bronson was like 6 months old and I got my vasectomy. No, he may have been close to a year.
Yeah, it was close to a year.
And I got my vasectomy. I'm like, dude, I'm done. We don't need to have that scare or whatever just for.
I know, because knowing our luck, that third one would be twins. I just had a feeling like if me and Ashley ever had another baby, well, ain't gonna have another one because it ain't happening.
Yeah, both.
That we would end up with twins or something crazy.
Yeah, Danielle had enough kids for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's kind of how that's how we came up with their names. But like I said, we talked about this before, but we were always super active. We still are to this day.
You know what I'm talking about.
But everything, we had that too. Everything, the kids were always with us. We took the kids to everything. Like I said, our friends group all had kids around the same age.
So it's easy to take our kids, you know.
Yeah, they were always
do things.
They were all together. They're all close.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, even still, my best friends from back home, we'll see them a couple times a year. But like, man, when they see each other just like us, it's like nothing's ever. There's no time was missed. Like
right.
They immediately jump back to being like they're all best friends and stuff like that, super close. It's just fun. I think that's just how it should be. It's just like with my group of guys. I mean, just this past weekend, my best friend from birth, we were both best men at each other's weddings. Him and his kids came in, and our kids and their kids are just instantly, they've been friends ever since. And
so probably we've seen them over the holidays before. Yeah. That's been like 2 years.
But we're super close with them still. Even they call us Uncle Dale and Kiki. I mean, we're close to them. We love them, and like I said, they're like family to us. I
mean, they call us Aunt Kiki and Uncle Dale. It's pretty cool. Oh, you did? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Of course. And but like I said, that's kind of how the thing is with kids. And I know people ask about how we parent. Crystal used to get on to me for being tougher on Bronson.
That's right.
But that's just how it is. Like you got to be tougher on a boy. You don't want them raised up to be little shitheads. They need to be a little more tough. Kenzie, I could just raise my voice and she acts like I beat her with a
not with me because she'll give it back to me.
Well, yeah, that's just. But for so long, what Crystal would do is I would have to be the bad guy. I'm gonna tell your daddy, and like nothing that she said held weight. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of moms that do that. It's not fair to the dads. I always have to be the enforcer. But that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
That's how ours was. Kenzie, I can talk to her, and man, me and her sometimes I'm like, dude, can you just freaking help me out? I ain't gonna hear your mom bitching about stuff. Like that's really what me kind of talks we have, like, because y'all two are fighting about stuff. Me and Bronson, we got to get into it sometimes. Just because he was a tough kid, because he would always just challenge everything. Like, dude, put your shoes on, and he would fight about that. Like everything was always a little fight with him.
And it could be because he's a lot like you.
I've got no patience either.
You don't have no patience.
And I've got a temper.
And so I would tell him, like, chill out, dude.
But she needs it. Like, that's how father-daughter and father-son, mother-daughter, mother-son, those relationships are way different.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like that for everybody. It's not just us. Because me and Bronson I think we're getting closer now because he's getting older. We do more.
Into sports and things you like,
Yeah, I think every father goes through that. I did enjoy the little kid phases though. Like I loved them as little kids, and I was into like having babies.
Yeah.
Some guys aren't like that. Some guys like, man, I just really.
They don't care for the baby stage at all.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's not the most fun because you can't do as much with them. Me and Kenzie are still super close. I feel like me and her, she talks to me a lot just because her and Crystal kind of butt heads, and that's just I think that's always a problem for most people, moms and daughters. They don't communicate the best ever. You have your own little issues that y'all, and I think because y'all are a lot alike in the way y'all do stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, I think we are. I think we're try to be strict parents, but we still let them do things, or we're strict on the social media stuff. We let Kenzie have a TikTok that's account restricted parental stuff on it, because you can't just shelter them from everything,
right? Because
but you do want to keep them from. There's a lot of bad shit out in the world.
Yeah, there is. I mean, and times have changed big time, because like back then we didn't have all that social media like we do now.
I get that, but our parents, you got to adapt to the time. I tell, I'm actually more lenient as a dad than on her than she is, and it's more of like even like the way they dress nowadays. Like they don't sell clothes for little girls that are
terrible, man. Where's you go? Everything's crop top.
And at the end of the day, like. Some stuff I've told Kenzie, no, you can't wear that. But for the most part, I've been pretty good. Like, okay, hey, I tell you got to adapt to the times. The times have changed. Times are different. The way shopping is, that's just how they that's how these girls dress. The bad thing is they dress like they're young adults already at young age.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get it. You know, you don't want your kids to be over sexualized or anything like that. But there's some battles like, you know, the clothing stuff is just it's just a part of, you got to adapt with the times. So you gotta have a little rein on it. But
yeah, and I've gotten better about it because, like you said, like you even try to go shopping for the school year, which it kills you because you can't find anything, you know.
Yeah, I mean, only thing we can do as parents, I feel like you got to just raise your kids to be good kids, show them a good home life. We have a healthy marriage. Obviously, we get crazy and yell at sometimes each other and cuss at each other, but that's just part of how it works for us. But our kids see that we love each other and we're involved in their lives. I think that's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to just hope that what they're seeing and what you're doing, they are good people. And so one good thing I know is, it makes me proud every time, is Bronson. People always compliment Bronson about being a sweet kid.
Yeah, and how polite he is. Like when, you know, when he goes over to people's houses, or if he sees adults, you know, like that's what I like to hear. I want to hear that, you know.
Yeah. We got friends' kids or friends, our friends' parents. That was like, oh, I seen Bronson. He came with me the other day, give me a hug or whatever. He'll shake my hand, and that's cool, man. That's a good thing. You feel like as a parent, you're like, man, the only thing you can hope is when they go out there away from you, they're not turds.
Continue, yeah.
And they act better than they are with us. That's just
right.
how, and that's what you hope they do. And that's how I was. I was always a good kid, but I was, you know, mischievous kid. But buddies' parents and people like that, they thought I was the sweetest thing ever because I was just. You got to be able to play that game. You got to be a chameleon with your people, and it translates even to my work life. You got to be a chameleon with who you're around. You know, the way you are with your boys is definitely different how you are with your wife, with your coworkers, with your clients, and you got to be able to be that. It's a people game in this world, and I think that's what our kids are seeing from my end for sure. Because everything I do is all relationship based. So, like I said, but as a parent, we just hope that they stay on the right path. And you can't over control that because they can go the other end of that at a certain time too. So I don't know, man. We don't claim to be the perfect parents. We're involved. We love our kids. We try to teach them right and wrong. I like to have conversations with them, probably more than Crystal does. But I kind of try to be the voice of reason with them and let them know that, you know, it's. Try to talk to him about things. I talk about Bronson about stuff with him at sports now. He's in the age where sports are tougher, and I'm like, hey man, it's all life, work, sports. It's all performance based. You do well, play hard, give effort, you'll be rewarded. Same way as a job, same way with relationships. Everything's the same way. So I'm glad they're seeing that. They're like, you know, McKenzie plays club volleyball, and it's a commitment, man. You got to be there a couple nights a week. It's 3 hours. They work hard. They get their butts kicked, but they're learning work ethic. I mean, even if she plays school sports, they get there at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Ugh.
2.5 hours before school starts, have their practice. They get ready. I mean, so they're learning stuff that, I mean, it can carry on as an adult.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you can hope for as parents. And then you be around your friends groups that are good, and they see those examples as well as healthy marriages and family lives. It's really what you can. It's all you can really hope yourself on, like, you know. So, Kenzie going into high school next year,
it's crazy.
It's going to be different. It's a different ball game because it's a bigger school.
It's a bigger school, and your class. In some of your classes, you have sophomores, juniors.
Yeah, so I mean, they're around older kids. They're going to see and hear and experience things. I was always kind of a nervous kid, or like around stuff that I didn't, you know, I was always real aware, and I was kind of like, I was really a do-gooder.
Believe it or not, so was I. So was Dale.
Crystal.
I was a good girl. I ain't gonna lie. I'll confess right now, I was a good girl.
Now she's a bad lady.
I didn't do any of that shit. I'm proud of it too.
But no, like I said, I think that's just how we were raised.
Sheltered.
You were. I wasn't. And I don't think being sheltered is good either for a kid.
Well, not too much shelter. We just kind of learned on our own,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's just there's things that kids need to do and experience and see because
I don't know about do.
I'm not meaning like that way, but you're going to get into some trouble as a kid. That's part of it. That's part of life. You can't protect them from everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I always try to tell you about. I was like, all we can do is hope that they're going to do right when they're not with us. That's
right.
all. It's the only thing you can pray for as a parent. And so, but like I said, man, luckily we got 2 great kids. They see the relationship that both your sisters have with our brother-in-laws, and we're a tight family. Kids are all close. We all involved and do stuff and try to, we all go to each other's kids' sporting events and things like that. They're graduating from 5th grade or from kindergarten. We all go do that kind of stuff. So I think it's good for the kids to see that kind of stuff for sure. So that's kind of how we parent, man. We're not perfect. Trust me, I cuss and yell sometimes.
Nobody's
stuff too.
Perfect.
But it's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's no right or wrong way to do it. You just gotta see what works for you. And the same way we talked about, like you can't compare yourself to that. You can't compare the way you parent to other people parent because nobody's perfect. Everybody got their own way of doing it.
It's different.
You just gotta hope that your kids are staying on the right path. That's all you can do. And just pray that happens. So, but like I said, they're good kids. High school is going to be a different animal. I'm kind of worried about that just because, always hear once that happens, like the father-daughter stuff that, me and Kenzie are close, but that may flip.
No, I don't think so.
When they get, not flip totally, but like, there's a different, luckily Kenzie, I'm not too embarrassing for her, even when I try to. She still likes doing
I just can't.
Silly TikTok dances.
Can't wait till
like
it's
that.
like the days where she starts introducing us to her boyfriend or something, and Dale.
Yeah,
hard time, cutting up and stuff. That's gonna be hilarious.
Hey, that's just a part of life. I get it.
Or
I'm not gonna be with an
like
asshole. Like you want your kid to be with a respectable kid.
Yeah.
All you can hope is they pick a right boyfriend. And none of this stuff is forever. You can't. Hey, you would hope that they meet somebody that's what they're with the rest of their life, but that's just. There's a lot of they're going to go through some heartache, and you can't protect them from that either.
Right.
But I don't know how I'm going to react to that stuff until it happens. But like I said, man, it's going to be maybe like a Bad Boys 2
That's
scene.
like whenever she was in 5th grade, and she had a little. They were just friends, but whatever. Remember, we went to the river trip, and so Kenzie's shy, and she didn't want to dance, and he asked her to dance. And she didn't want to. So remember, he went and danced with another girl, and that was the first time we actually saw her cry.
Yeah, she was jealous.
She was jealous. And we're like, well, he asked you, and you said no.
It's almost like when me and Chris started dating. She saw me talking to this other girl, and then she got drunk and came tell me what she wanted.
Yeah, that's about right.
But yeah, that's part of it. But he's like, hey, all right, dude, I want to go find me another chick. That
was the first. I was like, oh my gosh, she's really crying over this. And like at the time, they were 5th grade. They were just friends, They were both shy half the time anyways, but it was just funny that we went to that little dance hall little place and he asked her and she said no.
Yeah. No, I know. So, but yeah, that's our life with kids has been cool. Like I said, man, for us, the only thing we do, we stay involved. We know what's going on. We know who their friends are. You try to just.
Yeah, and who their parents' friends are. Because I feel like now it's going to be different, like whenever McKenzie starts middle school, because like she'll start high school, yeah, she'll start getting more friends, so it's going to be kind of harder to try to keep in touch and involved. And
even though we're in a bigger area, it is pretty tight knit, though.
You kind of
know
pretty much a lot of the moms.
Yeah, dads. Plus, and we got some moms that are detectives too. They know everything about everybody, so
we know who to reach out to.
yeah, kidding. So, somebody did ask about relationships with your. There's a 2 question. What sister you're closer with, and if I had siblings, I think I would answer which sister you're closer with. I think it's more of a. You're close with both of them.
You're talk with them.
Okay. I'm saying you talk. I'm just saying on my side of it, you talk to them all the time. We don't see them all the time like you may think, because we all have our own friends groups.
Right.
Like they say, you go through seasons of life. You know, we obviously see each other when we're doing stuff for filming wise, but like far as we talk to them all the time. We still try to do a date night with all 6 of us. We just talked about that today, actually. But you know, I think you're close. I'm close with all of them as well, and it just really, they're busy, we're busy.
Yeah.
And they got their own groups, we got our own groups, and so we find the time to get together, but we don't see each other as much as we have in the past.
Yeah, because the kids are just getting older too, and like you said, they're getting involved in sports, and it's hard. Even on the weekends, you know, we're running and going just how like they are, you know. But so to answer the question, so like I'm close. All 3 of us, we all have a close relationship, and so how I like to answer that is, you know, who do I like see the most or hang out with the most is Danielle.
Well, who'd you say you'd throw off the cliff if you had both of them on our podcast? I
forgot what I said.
Oh, I think she said she.
I don't remember.
You tossed to Ashley because she's your twin.
Yeah, I'm considered one person or something. I don't know.
Ashley's like, what the hell?
No, I mean, like we're all 3 super close. It's just that I don't know why I hang out, do stuff more with Danielle than I do Ashley. I have no idea.
You didn't ask them. No, like I said, we're all close, but like I think it's just certain times. But you know, we're all busy. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, so I'm not really. So to answer that question, I'm close.
So which one do you hate?
I'm close with all of them. I don't hate neither one of them. And so which sister I'm close with? I mean, honestly, I'm close with both of them. Like you said, there's different. Not seasons, because we don't go through season where we don't see them.
I'm not saying like that, but we're in a super busy time right now in our life,
right?
Where they all have kids in sports or doing things. Yeah. We have kids in sports doing things, and we're all different directions all the time. So we don't see like this is.
So naturally, who we hang out with, like that, you know, usually we'll connect with like Danielle and Adam hanging out, you know, versus Ashley and Nick. Not like that's not a bad thing at all. It's just that maybe we not vibe. I don't know, y'all. I don't know where I'm going with this question. Okay. I don't even know. All I'm saying is that we're all 3 close sisters. We always have been, you know, we've always figured out between the 3 of us, you know? And so, I mean,
I guess same way for me. Like I'm close to Nick and I'm close to Adam. We don't all 3 do stuff as much together anymore. We used to work together, so we were together more. Me and Nick are more close on the business side. I think, you know, me and him still meet for lunch here and there. When I'm out and about working, I hit him up and he's out there doing his thing. Me and him would meet up and catch up on stuff. Me and Adam talk and text. And we've seen him on a few things we've done with Good Ranchers before combined. But the same way, I mean, we're busy. He's busy. It's hard to like make time. We probably should do more to make time. But like I said, man, we're all in.
Yeah, it's just whenever you say make time, we usually concentrate on making time like as our personal family, you know.
And we got our own group of friends. So, and all our friends aren't all the same friend group. So, you know, and it's fine. We don't just hang out with family all the time. We know we do. But somebody asked about my siblings. Yeah, I actually have 3 brothers and a little sister that's adopted. So I have an older brother from my mom and dad's marriage. He's 7 years older than me. And then I have a stepbrother, half brother. One of them just had his birthday the other day. So I have 3 brothers, and then I have a little sister that's she's 15 or 16? I think 15. So I mean, like I said, those are all from but just from my mom and dad I had an older brother. So I do have siblings. I see them not as much. I mean, they're back in Louisiana. We see them for holidays and things like that. But like since we've been in Houston, you know, we've been here 8 years. It's just tough to get back.
We just love Texas so much. So.
We love Texas, but it's just a lot. I mean, they come visit us, my little brothers and their my sister-in-laws and their kids. So we love having them here. They both actually just had kids, so we went back for Christmas this year.
Yeah, to give them.
But yeah, like I said, hey, I love my little brothers. I love my older brother, but I don't see them near as much. Like I said, man, ever since me and Crystal got together 22 years ago, their family has been. I mean, I really jumped full head and like whole head into your family to where I was close to your aunt and uncles, and
Yeah.
like that was a big family that did a lot of things together, which I wasn't used to for my family. And then me and Nick and Adam and Ash and Danielle were all close. I still talk to all of them. So I mean, I guess sadly I was kind of closer with your family from then on because I saw them more. And then we moved here, and it's just
because especially with the holidays, we celebrate every holiday and did everything.
yeah. And we
know how to throw down and have a good time.
Well, we try
see
to
where I
make-
get it from.
We try to make
My side of family.
new traditions with this side, because we have there's 16 of us whenever there's just us 3 couples.
I know, it's crazy.
So it's a lot. But yeah, like I said, I think that's just we all are busy. Nick's busy running the company. Ashley's got her business. Danielle's got her businesses. Adam them got their stuff going on. Plus them having 6 kids. It's a lot. They're all on different things. Lily's in high school. Charlie's playing sports. So it's just a lot. There's a lot going on for us to like make time. We probably should focus on making more time.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of how it is right now. But like I said, we love them. And
I wouldn't pick one over the other.
I mean, you did.
No, I backed it up.
I'll go back to on our other podcast. One other thing. Okay, I had a couple things written down. One was I just had some topics written down when I thought about doing this podcast with Crystal. I was like, I remember one night I couldn't sleep. I wrote a bunch of things out. One thing I had, because I know this kind of comes up with couples. I have friends that do, friends that don't, was sharing location with your spouse.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that for a long time. And then I think once the kids got cell phones, or McKenzie got her cell phone, we started tracking her where she was at, and then that inherently turned into us having we're on the same like the where's my friends or find my family, whatever the app is. And for me, it doesn't bother me because, dude, I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
I'm not somewhere where I shouldn't be. Hell, I forget I have it sometimes. Every once in a while, if I'm waiting on Crystal to go somewhere to get back or whatever, that's the only time I check on her to see where the hell she's at because she takes forever. But like I said, it doesn't bother me. I got some friends.
I know some friends that like they checking it nonstop, and I'm like, chill out.
No, I think some people
or maybe it's just a habit.
That
like
don't do it too. Though
media.
some people like. So I know some guys are way against that. I'm like, I get it, but I have nothing to hide. So
yeah, and I think in a way it's good because if if something were happening or you didn't know where they were, at least you know where they are. Or
yeah, no,
I like it for the kids anyways because like if they're out and about or whatever, I like to check in and see where they're doing.
No, that's the best thing about cell phones with the kids, especially with Bronson. Even McKenzie, she's getting older. I mean, she's gonna get to a point where she's gonna have friends driving. She's driving to know where she's at, what she's doing. Thank God they didn't have that when we were kids. Like, dude, we had pagers when I was a kid. I mean, I remember my mom would call me or page me, and I'm like, oh shit, we're not supposed to be here. We need to get somewhere to where I call her from.
Yeah.
I mean, that was us. That's just how we were in a small town. It's easy to find some trouble.
I just think it's funny, like without the sharing location thing. Like if I'm somewheres or if we're together, like Kenzie must nonstop track me because she'll be like, "Why are you at the mall? Since you're at the mall, can you go to Sephora and get me this? Or if you're at Target, can you run and get me a Starbucks drink?" I'm like, "What are you doing?"
I see you buy a crumble cookie. Can you get some cookies? Hell no! Like,
she's like, "Why are you over there?" I'm like, "Because I'm running errands." She's like, "Well, everywhere I go."
Our kids turn into be our parents when we're out, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
What time you gonna be home? Why are you here? I'm like, dude, I'm about to turn that shit off. They bug me more than my wife does about my location. But I know that's some fights that people have, or some people
that's ridiculous.
Don't want to agree on. It doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother me either.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me one bit. And Crystal knows when I'm at a strip club, she knows which one I'm at, so she can just find me.
That's how I found me.
I'm at Treasures.
Yeah.
Down the road, So, but like I said, I don't feel like that's a problem.
That's a joke, guys. I wasn't a stripper, and he didn't find me at a strip club.
She was working side stage. And then, so another thing that I had written down was shopping. So one, me and Crystal both like to shop.
We both do like to shop.
But Crystal likes to shop and hide it. And I know that's probably a fight with people talking about Amazon trucks always showing up, but I'm very observant.
But
Krista used to hate
you know
it.
what's so funny now? Now you have the front doorbell thing because everybody has cameras now
the
at your
ring
front
bell.
doors. Because now we have the camera thing, and he's like, "That's not my package." I'm like, "Well, that's not my. I don't know what package that is, you know." But it's funny. I think everybody goes through that because I have friends too. They do the same thing. Like, you know, they get packages, which I don't know why, but like, there's sometimes I'll like tell Kenzie, "Hey, a package is coming in. Just would you please go put it in my closet?" Why? What is it? I'm like, because I'm asking you.
I know. She has a whole credit card I wasn't aware of that she was buying stuff on. I was like, you sneaky bitch.
Like it would be anywhere from like I buy thongs or panties and like I'd put them on and he'd be like, "Are those new?" I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me, dude? It's freaking undergarments."
I'm observant though. Like even
Yeah.
like she'd wear a shirt. I'm like, "Where's that shirt from?" I've been having this. And she just took tag off. She's such a liar. I would always bust her with that. And it is not even a busting. Like, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because the bad thing, if I wasn't a shopper and like it bugged me her spending money, that would be an argument.
Yeah. Well, because nowadays I've gotten better where it just comes in, I put it on the counter, you know?
Some of it.
Some of it.
Yeah. You still.
I'll do a confession right now. When I had to go drop McKenzie off, FedEx was pulling up. I was like, "Yes, score my package." And I stuck it in my gym bag.
Oh, see? Why you gotta hide stuff?
I'm not. It was just 2 shirts that I like. I got 2 more of those Dick shirts that I like.
With dicks on them?
No,
Oh.
that gold one. I like them so bad. I ordered me 2 more.
See, and that's the thing. It doesn't bother me, but she feels like she's got to hide the stuff. Like, why you got to hide?
I think that's everybody, you know. I don't know.
What do you say?
We don't shop that much,
Shit.
you know. I mean,
I shop all the time. I feel like
Dale's problem is he shoe shops, and when he shoe shops for everybody. So, like, we literally need a closet just to put our damn shoes in.
Dude, I'm a consumer, man. And it's to my detriment sometimes. I spend too much money. But that's just part of it. But I do buy for y'all. I buy for y'all probably just as much or more than me.
Yeah.
I've always shopped for Crystal, and I always get the kids stuff. I've always been big on that. So it ain't just for me. Like, you don't shop for me. You never buy me shit ever.
You know why, guys? Because he's so damn picky.
No,
he's
she's
like
lazy.
a girl. No, he's like
You're
a
lazy.
girl. Like he'll tell me things or send me links. Like, okay, I'm not going to go out and buy you a golf club or go buy you this. Like, he is super picky. He is a woman.
But I also have a best friend, Jacob, that you could probably like, "Hey, I need to get Dale something," and he would know exactly what to
But
get
guess
me.
what, guys? Guys and girls, I reward them in other ways, so it makes them happy.
You
So
make Magnus blush over
the
here.
shopping gets caught up on other things.
Yeah. I cash in other ways.
Hey, see?
But like I said, I am very picky, but she'll show me stuff. I'm like, I would never wear that. Like,
And I'm like, I
pop off
tried.
shit. No, you lazy.
No, I'm not lazy.
You don't
Sometimes
wanna-
I do say
You don't
I
have to
try.
think for yourself to get me something. So you just don't. You're like, I can't think of it. Be picky. That's just your excuse. We do it to you?
Nope,
Exactly. Because she likes when I buy her stuff.
I do. You have good taste.
Yeah, so sharing location is one thing that we kind of I wanted to touch on because
Half the time I realize that I
guess for
don't
what
even
happened-
have it on, you know? Like you don't realize that it's there, but it is there, you know?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just kind of look at, like, the only time I look at is whenever, like I said, if I'm waiting for you to be somewhere or you're taking forever, or you got with girls' night and you got to go to Houston. I'll check every once in a while just to make sure y'all are safe and not whatever. Like that one time y'all broke down on the side of the I-10.
Yeah.
It's never a fun phone call. 11 at night or something like
I
that.
know, that was crazy.
Their bus broke down. They were in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's really the sharing location never bothered me. The social media thing, like, I think early on we were dating,
What do you mean the social media?
like checking your phone. Like every once in a while you'd be like, you want to look at my phone? Like, I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I know. We used to be big on each of that. Like, give me.
I think that's just a part of jealousy in relationships. But like I said, I don't see you doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Nor am I hiding anything from you. Like,
Yeah.
every once in a while you'd be like, who's this girl you following? I'm like, you know her. Like, you would do some stuff like that. I'm like, it's no big deal. But it hadn't been like that in a long time. But like I said, I'm not hiding anything from you. So it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Not like you don't know my passcode and like that anyway. But like I said, man, I I'm a happily married man. I don't do anything dumb that's going to jeopardize that. Nor am I worried about you looking at something. But some people are worried about that too.
Yeah,
So that's just like I said, what works for us may not work for everybody else. But that's just
us.
That's just what it is.
I need to turn the air down.
Yeah, it's hot in here. One thing else. What else we were going to talk about? You got anything else new in there?
Let me see. Somebody said, "Why are you so funny?" You know what? I don't know why. That's just my personality. You just get what you get.
Yeah.
And don't pitch a fit.
She's funny because she ain't trying.
No, I mean, I don't try. And that's just, I'm a fun person, right? I'm fun to be around.
Yeah,
I am. And I'm hilarious. Don't even need to be. I don't mean to be hilarious, but I am, Half the time stuff I say don't even make sense.
Very humble, Kiki.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like I said, we've had some good couples on with us. We plan to have some more couples on with us. I don't know. We want to find out what more people want to know about us. I mean, we're kind of an open book. We can kind of talk about whatever. What you got? Anything else new on there?
Mm-mm.
But like I said, man, we've had a good run, man. It's been a good marriage.
It's been the best, babe.
Been the best. So, Crystal's about to go on a girls' trip.
I am, and I'm super excited. My friend's turning 40, and I'm kind of like, where are we going, guys? And so I kind of threw out some things, and then both of my friends are like Disney-obsessed people, so we're going to Disneyland of all places for a 40th birthday. I know we're going to have fun, but that's not my idea. It's not my 40th, so I'm going to rock it out in my Disney attire gear.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have fun because you're going away on a girls' trip.
Yeah, because I think, isn't Hollywood around there or something? I don't know.
I mean, you're going to San Diego. I don't know how far that is from LA, but
okay.
But yeah, you've over the years,
I've never gone. But it's even though I've gone on a girls' trip, I've gone on a girls' trip like surrounding here, but I've never had to get on a plane to go to a girls' trip. So I will be. This is so funny. So Dale
you've been to Florida and stuff like that, though.
Yeah, but we were dating, so it's so funny that like Dale does everything for me. So I told my friends, I was like, all right, because I haven't flown by myself without you, So I told them, all right, when we get in the airport, can y'all be sure to, tell me how to
check in.
Help me check in and how all this works out, I was like, I'm sure I can do it. They're like, oh, Lord, Chris. I'm like, yeah, because Dale does it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I guess just being the man. And when we're together, of course, the man usually takes care of the stuff. I take care of everything that we're doing. But like even Kenzie's got a trip coming up to Dallas for volleyball. And I was like, you probably don't want to do that. So I'm going to go with her.
Yeah, Dale. Yeah.
So you can stay back for
Bronson. I was like, I'd rather do the Katie trip than traveling out of town.
Yeah. So, but like I said, man, it's part of it. We're in that part of life where some weekends are split up. We got to go somewhere different, and we got to divide and conquer. But it's fun. Yeah, girls trip. No, I would say you've been on different girl trips, or you've been to the beach without me. We went on vacation, and you got invited somewhere else, and I didn't go.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Crystal likes to go have a good time, which is fine. I'm good. Me and the kids are. They listen for me. They're good.
They listen for me too.
No, you always call me bitching about something. I would be going work and she would call me, you talk to your son. He ain't listening. I'm like, okay, I'm 4 hours away. What should we tell him?
He'll be like, Bronson, you better listen to your mother.
Yeah, that's all I could do. What else am I supposed to do?
Or nowadays he's like, don't call dad. Don't call dad.
Well, that's just that. And that's just little boys, man. They just, I think that's just the fear of God you put in them. You try to, to where they're not just total turds whenever you're gone.
Yeah.
That's another part of parenting.
I know. I'm like, before you leave, go talk to them and tell them they better be on their best behavior for me.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? But yeah, no. So I don't have anything else for this episode. I know we just want to jump on here and do one of ourselves because we've had a lot of guests on. Mm-hmm. But you have anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. I think we covered it right now.
Okay. Well, that'll be a wrap for episode 8. And we look forward to having some new guests coming on. We got some ideas. We got a few people. I know one person wrote in. We were going to get Gypsy Rose on. Man, I'd love to get.
That'll be interesting to get her on. I know this is episode 8, and we're gonna do more solos or whatever. But people got to understand. Like I'm still trying to get in the swing of things and like having to get my mind like how this all works and like trying to put my thoughts together and what we should talk about. Like this is something that I've never done before, so having to put my
Crystal wants me to think for everything
there,
like I always do.
Yeah, so like it's going to get interesting and fun as it goes on. Once I get used to how all this rolls.
Yeah, you gotta just learn to roll with it, and you gotta.
And plus, right now I'm drinking Pure Life water. Sponsor us.
Yeah.
No,
we actually
there's no alcohol.
we have a meeting. We have a meeting tomorrow. I do with a potential new sponsor. So we got some sponsors going to come this way, and hoping to do some more things. Have some segments put into the show as part of it, just monetizing things like that to help us do more things. I did tell Kiki we need to do more, probably some vlogging or give a Magnus do some other video stuff for the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Be fun.
Maybe do some day in the lives of us doing stuff. Video would be cool, just to kind of see what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not that exciting. I mean, we're just parents and kids and running out with them, cooking, going out to eat. I mean, we kind of stay busy.
Yes, you ain't that right.
So, but it's fun. They talked about that in church 2 weeks ago about being busy and slowing down and not forget about God. There's a lot of things that we do, and we don't boast about being busy. Like some people boast about it. Like we're just in the busy time with the kids, but we do make time for ourselves. We do need to get more back into church, just because it's a good thing to be doing, and just be hearing that, being around that. I think we need to do more of that. It's tough with sports going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all part of having a healthy marriage and life with our kids. So I think that is it, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.